Hello, welcome to Alaska Tracy's podcast. Here you can expect to hear inspirational as well as business tips and tools to help you keep moving forward to all of your successes. Thanks for joining. Enjoy this episode. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 40. I am thrilled that you are here today. So this episode, we are going to talk about accountability and how accountability really plays an instrumental part in achieving your goals, achieving what you're setting out to accomplish. I was reminded of the accountability piece in my life last week and this week, as I'm always searching for people to interview that can talk about success or talk about business plans or life plans and share their experiences with you so that you can get an idea or tips and tools on how to move forward with your visions in creating the successful business and life that you desire. I often forget that I have my own experiences to share with you, and when things happen in life that create vulnerability, especially my own vulnerability, it's really important for me to stop and share. So years ago, I was able to stop drinking and change my way of life with the help of, I call it spirit, universe, higher power, and many, many, many inspirational people in my life, including a mentor. That was the beginning of learning how accountability can change and transform my life. And what that brought about for me was seeing the change in others' lives with having that piece, that key ingredient, accountability. So from that very moment, it's almost been 21 years now, of having a mentor, a woman in my life that I could filter things through. And then the goal for her and my relationship was and is for that person to really direct me back to an all-powerful being, spirit, universe, higher power, God, whatever that may be, that I can run things by to help me live this life beyond my wildest dreams. So people have been very instrumental in my life to achieve that accountability. Shortly after getting sober, I went to a career counselor, David Goodenough. If you've listened to some of my other podcast episodes, you've heard me talk about him. And what was uncovered in that very first meeting was a really cool gift that I found out at 32 years old, that I'm dyslexic. And immediately I wrestled with the fears of being dyslexic and thinking that, oh no, what am I going to do with this information? Am I going to have to go back to school? Which I always struggled with, C's, D's, and F's, and really struggling getting by. And what he helped me determine is that if I surround myself with people that have a different skill set than me, they can help me to achieve greatness. They can help me to achieve business, and then other things in life. So when I came back from that meeting, back to Anchorage, he encouraged me to find 4 to 5 people that had gone before me that were business owners, and to ask them if I could use them as mentors to help me to create the very first business that I created. I was 33, 34 years old when that business was created. And so what I did was I asked these, I think I had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, I had four or five people that were in business. And what I did was I described the business that I thought I wanted to have. I described what it looked like and the financial freedom that I thought it would bring for me. And then their job was to help me to stay focused, moving forward, to create a business plan to achieve the end result. And they did a great job. What happened, things came up in life and I would want to divert. Fears came up and I would want to change channels, change pathways, change directions, modify the goal, jump ship, move, all different things, all different reactions. And the core people, the mentors that I had, it was almost like I was this ping pong ball and I would bounce things off of them and I would divert and I would get in fear and I would get stuck and I would want to run and they would sort of gently, sometimes not so gently, push me back into the ping ball game. Ping ball, I love ping ball. And remind me of what my mission was, what my goal was, what the end result was, which was to own this business, was to have financial freedom. They were instrumental in helping me to stay on task. I did complete that business plan and I did open that business and I ran it. I had employees. I got it up and going and I sold it. Having a coach, having mentors has always been a powerful tool in my business, in my life over the last almost 21 years. I get to be married to a really smart man who is the yin to my yang, and I often bounce things off of him and I struggle with hearing the answers from him. It's not bad. It's not good. That's just what happens for me. We live in the same house and I run things by him. And then sometimes I look at him like he's crazy because he's sort of this grounding rock. And I tend to be the marketing personality that never stops. Anyways, I usually hear the same ideas, the same advice from the mentors in my life. And I often circle back to my husband, Bobby, and say, boy, what you told me a year ago, 6 months ago, last week was point on. And he always says, you should pay me to be your coach, your mentor. I don't. And I love him to pieces and we work. It works really well. Having people that you can be accountable to is golden. And when I teach the vision mapping process, that is a huge piece of the pie, is that accountability piece. So, back up to last week. And when I had an incident happen, and this is what I preach, guys. This is what I teach, what I preach, what I talk about is this piece, this accountability piece. And I've had it in my life again for 21 years, and I'm still always amazed when life happens and it works. That accountability piece works. So, I have a vision to get this, it's called Visions to Profits. It's a women's community membership, and it's to achieve success along the crazy map of life. Something like that. I haven't quite come up with the tagline. Anyways, I'm working on the launch date. I'm taking a really intensive class to get all the pieces in place before I promote it and talk about the launch date. However, I am taking names. I've got a list of names going already of people that are interested, women that are interested of being a part of this community that is going to open in August. I just do not have the final date yet. And it's going to be women all over the world looking to achieve success in business and life. So I am on the pathway. I'm taking this really intensive course. I have a founders group launched already of women that are my founders for the course, and they're helping me to mold and shape what the community is going to look like. I have a mentor in my life, and I have a spiritual advisor in my life, and then I help other women. I mentor other women, and I coach other women in business and in life. So I have all these little systems that are in place for when life happens. All these women know the plan. It's for me to complete this community, and there's people relying on me to get it done and to do it. So last week I'd come off a 2-month really intensive work. I had my women's rejuvenation retreat in the beginning of June, which was just, oh my goodness, it was filled with miracle after miracle after miracle. So I had pre-planning for that. I signed up for this intensive course. It's called Tribe with Stu McLaren, and it is by far the best course in business that I have ever taken. It's just packed with amazing information to help me create this community site. So I'd started that. And then I had a contract position, and that's a whole other story. It was from a vision that I put out there on my vision map last June. It came to fruition within 72 hours. So I had that contract, and it was finishing up. It was going to end, and I was helping the owners to sell their business and help with all the employees and the marketing, and so all that was taking place. And then shortly after the retreat, the following weekend, Bobby and I were headed to a quick weekend in Portland for our nephew's graduation, and it was just very fast, 48-hour trip. So I got back, and I'd planned to go hike with my friend Bev, the weather's just been incredible up here in Alaska, and Bev knows me really, really well. So I'd planned to go hike, and I wasn't feeling it. And guess what? I shared that. I shared it with my husband. I shared it with the Founders Visions to Profit group. I shared it with my accountability partners for Tribe. I have two accountability partners that I shared it with that morning, that I was exhausted, that I really did not want to go hike, and I was going to go anyways. And it was, I've been practicing not swearing, and so excuse my mouth, but it was a shit show from the beginning. See, I had put out to the universe, because I believe what you put out to the universe comes back like a boomerang. I had put it out to the universe that I was tired and that I really did not want to go hiking. So you can imagine what happened. The universe responded. It was hot. We got caught in construction traffic. We went to an area that was way overpopulated with hundreds of people, turned around on the side of a cliff, went to another area. It was really hot. Chansey, the Malinois German Shepherd that we rescued, was getting antsy. She wasn't behaving. I started swearing. Poor Bev looked at me like, what are we even doing? Like she knew from the get-go. So we got to the second spot, and I was cranky. I was hot. I let Chancey out of the car free in all this wide open space with people everywhere. Usually I have a lot of discipline with her. I've been training her and really structured, and she didn't know what to do. We started walking, and not even 10 minutes into the walk, not even close to the mountain that we were going to go hike, I tripped on my own 2 feet, and I fell the hardest I think I've ever fallen in my life. I tripped on a rock, and I fell on a rock. I smashed my head, my eye, my hand, my sternum. I had Chancey's little remote for her e-collar around my neck. It smashed into my sternum. I smashed my knees. One was pretty bad. It doesn't hurt. It just the brush burn really hurts on it. I was a bloody mess. Words were flowing. Poor Chancey just sat there. Bev tried to help clean me up. Back to the house we came. And I was really down on myself. Really down on myself. Thinking, what is at the onset of something? Do I have, whatever, disease coming on that I never trip. I hike all the time. What happened? Blah, blah, blah. My head was just going. And because I teach it, because I preach it, because I've done this for almost 21 years, I reached out to a mentor, my mentor, and I told her exactly how I was feeling. And she reminded me of some really simple tools to guide me back onto that vision path that I choose to live on today, which is moving forward in a positive direction, moving into the light, serving others, taking care of myself. She gently guided me back there. So I've learned a couple things in the last few days since this happened. Resting is really hard for me. I can tell other people how to do it. I can teach it. I can preach it. And yet I have a really difficult time doing it. I randomly scroll on social media way too much. And so on my new vision map, the random scrolling, I am going to start putting some guidelines on it, some time restraints. I realized I'm really hard on myself. Again, I can tell others how to be gentle to themselves, and yet I have a really difficult time listening. I've also upped my meditation since this happened. And again, that inner voice that guides me, that directs my life is there. It's there, and it waits patiently because it wants to be heard and it wants to be listened to. And it's the guiding force in life. If we can slow ourselves down, if I can slow myself down, practice the meditation, I'm much more in tune to that intuitive voice and to listening to it when it says things like, call Bev and cancel. She loves you. She's okay with that. It's okay. This weather is wonderful and it's okay to rest. That intuitive voice that tells me things like pick up the phone and call somebody that's struggling and ask them how they're doing. And then listen. It's okay. You can do that. It's okay to do that. The dog that I get to live with, Chancey, that needs exercise, well, she lives in an acre-plus fenced yard. She's okay today. She doesn't have to go for a 10-mile walk. She's kissing me right now as I say that. So lots of great realizations. And again, the accountability piece has kicked in and it works on my vision map. And I know that again, when I'm teaching it and I'm preaching it to you, that I'm living proof that it works. My accountability group for Tribe has connected with me, and they've shared with me that they heard me loud and clear say how tired I was that morning that I decided to go hiking. The founders group for Visions to Profits, they've reached out to me and they've said, hey, we heard you at 5:45 a.m. on our group call. We heard you say how tired you were. They've encouraged me to rest and to keep moving forward. The client that I got to work with over the last year, I ran by the ideas of the membership community that I'm creating, and she reminded me to work smart, not hard. Work smart, not hard. See, I told her I had taken the word busy out of my vocabulary when I left the real estate industry. Somehow busy started creeping back in. Somehow busy started creeping back in. And busy to me pushes other people away. Busy in my life puts other people on the back burner. So really, if my mantra is to serve others and to be the light, and I'm running around in busy, the serving others starts getting pushed further and further back. And serving others doesn't look like running around helping everybody and their brother. Serving others is, in my life, about connecting to other people, listening to other people, being there for other people, slowing down enough to hear other people. So the night of the trip where I smashed my face on the rock, my husband spoiled me rotten and came home and helped clean me up and buy me all sorts of goodies. And then he had his own accountability people to go meet with that night, and I encouraged him to go do that because I know that's where he gets his light and he gets to connect with a spiritual being of his understanding that really keeps him moving forward. And so that's really important that we both have that in our lives. And so as soon as he left, the woman who I've called my spiritual advisor for the last, 10 years, she showed up on my doorstep. And she showed up on my doorstep with flowers and a card. And we cried. And then we sat and we talked about life and the obstacles of life. We sat for 2 hours on our back deck and we talked and we cried and we shared. And she shared some obstacles that she's had in life. A death of a good friend. Taking the call when somebody calls so that if an obstacle happens, there's no regrets. We talked about busy creeping into my life and how busy had put our relationship on the back burner and how we had not been staying in touch and how she missed me, and we cried. I would like to say that I would like to never get too busy again. I've learned a couple things. Never say never. And to practice, to put things into practice that I would like to change. The practice helps create a new habit. And that new habit for me is about slowing my roll so that I can serve others and continue to be the light. First and foremost. It truly is the people in my life that lift me up, that hold me accountable, that help me to keep moving forward on the pathway towards my successes in life. Sometimes they help me to simply get up. Sometimes they help me to sit still. It's such an instrumental piece of my business and my life, the accountability piece. So I ask you, who are you accountable today to? Do you have that built into your life? Those core people that know you, that you can hear things from. Maybe they're outside of your home. I'm hoping they are. So they're a little removed so that you can hear them and they can be honest with you in a way that is unlike any other. I wish that for you. I wish that for you because that truly has enhanced my life. The women that speak louder than my head. And they're in my business and in my personal life. They're built-in pieces. So stay tuned for the Visions to Profit women's community membership site. If you are interested in getting on the early bird list, you can send me an email and I will be happy. You'll be one of the first to know all the details about the launch. The premise of the community is to build your plan to your success in business and life. Really complete plan, and have the community to support you, to support each other, to lift each other up, to help each other, to achieve the results that you're looking to achieve. And it's going to be an open launch date, and there'll be like 4 days where I'll be launching it, and then I'm going to close it. So the membership will be closed until I offer it again, which will be in probably December or January. So I will keep you posted if you want on the list. Shoot me an email. It's Alaska spelled out. Tracy, Tracy, at alaskatracy.com. There's going to be, I do know this, I've got the calendar already. There's going to be interviews and worksheets and a couple other really cool things and some surprises along the way within the membership community. So shoot me a message if you're interested. And I thank you for listening today. I don't have notes in front of me. You can probably tell that from this. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. Sometimes I have little show notes that help guide me through the podcast episode. This one is truly from my heart with my own experience. And I think it's really important to share when the bumps happen. And I wish you could see me. Many of you are on Facebook and Instagram, where I share my photos of my beautiful black eye, my face right now. And I did go for x-rays yesterday for my sternum because I thought it was really making noises and really bugging me. And it's there's no fracture. Thank you, God. It is bruised, so I've been icing and ibuprofening, which any of you that know me know that I do not take anything because it knocks me out. So I even got vitamins and some food to help with bone building. And I'm starting a vision map for myself moving forward, my half-yearly check-in for my vision map. And on it is to build my core, to get some core strength going. So stay tuned for what I end up doing there. Thanks again for listening to this episode 40. Stay tuned for more goodness and keep moving forward. Have a great day. Thanks.